You want to go to a place where they understand and they appreciate where you're going, what you spend money on. Perhaps you have a personal relationship with someone at the bank to where you can get more flexibility because they understand, hey, you're not the bad guy.
In the world of scams, trust is the most valuable currency. The Western Bank's actions contradict this statement. After leaving Saks' Fifth Avenue holiday lights display in New York, Nafe Dillon discovered that his bank accounts had all unexpectedly gone dark. Mr. Dillon, his fiancée, and a few others went to a French cafe after the play to get out of the cold. But when it came time to pay the bill, his credit card was denied. Situations like this have been reported in the past few months. If you are not one of those people whose credit card does not show a zero balance, then you're lucky enough. Dillon believed that his debit card was denied just because of some kind of error. However, when he called Chase, his bank, after getting home that mid-December evening, a customer service agent broke this unexpected news to him. He mentioned that the bank had decided to stop doing business with him. The agent stated that Dillon should have received a letter in the mail. He said that the account was closed due to unexpected activity. Dillon was 28 years old when he decided to do business with Chase, and he moved to the marketing booth of the bank for that purpose. Dillon said, "I received no kind of warning or red signal. It was really unexpected." What do you do if you end up in such a situation? You might see multiple actions, like moving legally against those banks to get the deserving compensation. At the same time, some might ignore them and then stop doing further business with those banks. However, all those solutions will vary from person to person, and you should decide what is favorable for you. It seems like banks alone could not be blamed for what happened to Dillon. We can see that many fraudulent activities related to banks have been reported. Hence, this forced the banks to closely examine their clients' transactions and terminate accounts when they found it to be inappropriate. According to a Twitter handle named Andrew Lockenouth, who writes financial newsletters, banks are closing accounts without any explanation. If you closely look at the bank statement, you might see a clause included in the tiny print of its customer agreements. It states that the banks have the right to close a customer's account at any time and for any reason. As a result, the number of banks that abruptly terminate customers' accounts has increased. Banks mainly do this frequently to comply with the laws against money laundering. In 2021, financial institutions reported 1.4 million suspicious activities, which is 70% up over the previous year's total. Banks are forced to shut accounts because they need to pay fines. However, we're still not sure of the exact reason why banks are shutting down accounts. Financial institutions always need to notify regulators and law enforcement through a suspicious activity report if they notice any unusual activity. These are activities for which the banks cannot explain what actually happened. Banks are forced to take strict actions because they have a front row seat to observe the nation's cash flow. Imagine you're an employee working for a multinational company. There might be many rules and policies that every individual in the company must follow. Hence, when everyone goes against those policies, the company will be forced to terminate them. However, they might give the employees some warnings, and if mistakes are repeated, they're forced to terminate those people. On the contrary, since banks are institutions where a lot more transactions occur and chances for fraudulent activity are high, they need to take strict action. The explanation of SARS on the website of the Bank Policy Institute states that therefore all of their incentives are towards shutting accounts. According to a Treasury Department office report, 1.4 million of these SARs were filed by financial firms in 2021. Hence, this accounts for 839,314 more filings than were made in 2014. Now, some of us might think that fraudulent activities alone are the reason for the closing of bank accounts. However, we have other reasons, such as increased regulatory attention, more advanced technologies to detect fraudulent activity, and more notifications from government officials alerting banks about specific activities. Even though this is a case, clients are innocent in most of the cases. According to a 2018 study by the Bank Policy Institute, which looked at over 16 million alerts, discovered that a mere 4% of 640,000 notifications of suspicious activity led to law enforcement. It's the bank's take on, if you see something, say something, said Sharon Cohen-Levin, who is a partner at Sullivan & Cromwell that counsels financial institutions. Now, we might think that just 4% of the overall transactions led to law enforcement, and some misunderstand this and purposefully get involved in such frauds. However, something exactly the opposite is going to happen if you get involved in fraudulent activities. Now, let's look at the real-life situation of a person who's lost money from banks. A question posted on Quora says that, has a bank ever lost your money? And an answer was posted by a person named Lim Mabry. He said that 6 years back, he had taken $1,000 from a bank to pay off his credit card bills. Since there was a longer queue, the assistant manager asked him to use the ATM close to the teller windows. Hence, he put the cash in the machine and waited for anything to happen. But surprising him, the machine welcomed him with a blank screen without a receipt. he told the manager about the situation and began to press some buttons randomly. Finally, he called someone to solve the issue. He made a series of calls to IT, the help desk, and other departments to get an answer. Lynn said that he didn't want to get out unless he found a solution to the issue. Now, the assistant manager called the main office, and they said that there are no policies to fix this issue. Finally, they agreed to order the machine, and if they found any problem, they would return the money. This is not an isolated case. When banks are showing heavy interest in closing bank accounts, policies for this kind of issue are still underwater. Now, let's get back to what really happened in Dylan's case. A job interview was scheduled for Mr. Dylan the day following the restaurant's denial of his cards. He tried to use his debit card to pay for newly printed copies of his resume. However, he was very much convinced that the Chase mobile app would work and show his balance. Hence, he called the bank from the printing shop when his card was declined once more. But all Chase did was restate what they'd told him the previous evening. He went to his Chase branch the following morning. He received the cashier's check for his account amount, but did not receive any satisfactory clarification. He found the bank's Dear John letter later that evening. It stated, "Financial institutions must know our customers and monitor transactions." The letter, dated November the 15th, stated that the accounts would close on December the 14th and wrote, "After careful deliberation, we decided to close your accounts because of unexpected behavior on this or another Chase account." But we can see that Dylan got irritated by this reply. Mr. Dylan got irritated by this reply and dialed the number on the letter. The person on the other side informed him that the decision had been made by the bank's worldwide security and investigation team after a lot of procedures. Dylan stated, "I've gone through my account activity over the last few months and I've not seen or detected any form of strange behavior." He added, "This entire experience has been challenging and painful." Did you know that once a man was charged with $23 quadrillion due to a debit card processing malfunction? Yep, you heard that correct. You might feel like this is an isolated situation. However, there might be many unreported cases just because those victims might not have the time to spend. Dylan took the stand and said that he needed to find the exact reasons for his account cancellation. We can see that Dylan's family frequently sent him money from Pakistan through wire transfers, Western Union, and recently through a family acquaintance in New York. His family had previously covered his living expenses and tuition. Dylan remarked, "This has been going on since the day I arrived in New York, and Chase has never raised any red flags." According to Chase, they always make an effort to provide consumers enough time to transfer to another bank before closing an account. According to a JP Morgan representative, closing an account is often the final step after other options have been tried to safeguard our customers and the bank. If the situation goes like this, then the people who used to do business with the banks will stop doing so immediately. Moreover, new people will be hesitant to do the same thing after hearing all these bad experiences. Hence, we should anticipate that transactions using crypto might see a boom in the future. Since they're nearly error-free, chances are high that they can gain traction. What are your thoughts on the activities made by Western banks? Do let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Stay tuned for more insightful content, and until next time, stay informed and stay empowered.